What is up, YouTube? It is Matty and welcome to my Town Hall 10 GoVaHo guide. I am so excited to bring this strategy to you guys and to sort of start explaining my thought process behind it. It's an awesome attack strategy, particularly for the Town Hall 10 since the update that's brought level 5 Valkyries and level 6 Hog Riders out. I was a massive GoVaHo user at Town Hall 9 and the Town Hall 10 version is so exciting, it really is, and it's so many possibilities have opened up, and I've got a pretty good hit rate with it as well, so hopefully that goes down to you guys when as I share my knowledge, and maybe you can start cracking out some Town Hall 10 3-stars. I hope so, because it is so fun to do and it's relatively straightforward as well. Firstly, it is a very adjustable army. You can range from what, 8 to 15 Valkyries. You can range from probably 8 to 15 Hog Riders as well. You can use 1 golem, 2 golems, no golems. You can use, some giants, no giants, lots of giants. Typically, I've created a standardized sort of army, just something to build off of, or to as a go-to sort of thing. I don't ever recommend you use a go-to army. I think you should analyze a base, figure out how you're going to do it, and then plan accordingly. But just for highlighting purposes, this is a sort of example I can show you. I love using giants, max giants, because they soak up inferno beams, and obviously as the Town Hall 10 you're going to be facing a lot of infernos. Multi-target infernos are the bigger threat. Single target infernos are obviously a lot less of a worry, because when you've got troops like Valkyries and you're throwing 15 in, they'll gut the base so quickly the single target inferno doesn't have time to react. But whether you're against a single or a multi, giants have uses for both, because obviously a multi-target inferno has 5 beams, and if you send 7 giants in directly towards it, the idea is the giants go up front, soak those beams up, and then the Valkyries push through the base. So I wanted to talk a bit about what the objectives are for these spells, troops, and everything. So the golem and the giants. Now the golem and the wizards. Their target really is to create you an opportunity to funnel. So if you drop the golem down, target some defenses, use wizards to destroy the outer layer of buildings, potentially some inner layer buildings as well, and then use your wall breakers to break in the first layer. The theory is that you should then be able to start guiding in your giants to go and soak up the inferno beams, jump spell into the base, use Valkyries and King and Queen as your sort of main attack squad. Valkyries work, and King and Queen of course, and giants work very well under rage and heal spell. So you send all of those in, rush the base, use a second jump spell to get even deeper into the base. Of course you can exchange jump spells for earthquakes if the base sort of warrants that. The idea is you send them all into a mass of the base, take it down, and then just use a few hogs to finish up some remaining outside defences. That's the idea of it. It's like a big kill squad, sending in huge damage per second units, being the Valkyries, and they will just tear open the base. And the idea is you need to try and get deep into it and open it up as much as possible. Assuming we've got 2 multi-target infernos, typically I use my CC giants to tank the first inferno tower, to soak up those beams, allow my Valkyries to rage through, kill it, and then head towards the second one. And then I use the freeze spell to try and stop the second inferno tower and any other defences around it, and or the king or queen if it's so applicable on the base design. And then the rage and heal. If you don't need a freeze, for example, if they're like single target infernos, you can add an extra either rage or heal typically. If you only need 1 jump to get into the main portion of the base, let's say it's a big box ring base or something which is very open, then great, you can bring again extra freeze or extra rage or extra heal. You can really tune it up. Earthquake is a definite viable as well, particularly when you've got an inferno tower next to a wall you're trying to break through, because if you can drop the inferno tower health a lot, it'll help you out. But let me tell you this, with the stats of the new hogs and Valkyries, they are pretty powerful. Beastly damage per second and hit points for the Valk, so 148 and 1100, and if you compare that to like a giant which has 1100 as well hit points, You might ask why use giants to tank inferno beams, and my answer to that is less housing space. And they target defences. They typically head inside and head towards the core, depending on the base, of course. And if you compare the damage per second to a wizard, 170 versus 148, so they are massively high on both of those. So they are just a beastly unit, I've got to say. Let's take what I've just said and sort of start putting into real life scenarios. So your objectives are to find a way to funnel, get your troops inside the base, and to find a way to get them deep through the base. Those are your sort of main things, and then hog whatever's left. So if we take that into a raid that I've done on number 6, let's have a little look. I mean, level 1 inferno, so not that impressive, and it's basically a town hall. It's a glorified town hall 9, this one, so it's not the best sort of raid I've done. It's just one to use as an example, because on this one I use earthquake, so I'm opening up, and you can see as the compartments lie, I'm able to get very deep through the base because of it. And then I thought, once I get to sort of the town hall, assuming I'm entering through the bottom, which I am, anyway, I can't get through any further, so that's what the extra jump spell's for. And you can see here, I'm using a golem to tank those few defences, wizards to create a funnel with a few minions as well. Minions are very good funnel troops. I haven't got bowlers yet, and I haven't tested much with them. But then sending the Valks and the giants in. Typically you'd want the giants to go in first, but because they're 2 single target infernos, it's much less of a worry. So the Valks and giants, in fact, I probably could have got away with mass Valking that. I don't think I had much use for the giants really. So I could probably got away with more Valks, but you can see here, with everything going on in the middle, with the rage, the heal, the jump, everything to open up the base, the hogs are just sort of, I'm filtering them in to take down the distracted defences. My hog deployment wasn't great. It was a fresh hit, so it was a bit difficult to, I didn't know where the Teslas were or anything like that, so had to react on the fly. And to be honest, most of the time I do not plan where I'm going to send my hogs. I just sort of feel it when I'm within the raid. I just sort of, that's what I used to do at Town 9, because you'll see exposed distracted defences and you almost use those as your target points. But for when you're planning, I would definitely think if you can find like a route in the base where you can see that they're going to dodge potential giant bomb threats and you're going to get good value, and you can just send either a huge pack in, or if the base lends itself to you placing them individually, then just do what you see fit, but plan it out, have a think, think outside the box. Luckily here, my Valks came back after running it completely around the outside of the base and came to tank for my queen. The other thing about this strategy, which is pretty cool, is that if things don't always pan out, you still can get away with the 3-star. So I'm not saying it's idiot proof, but if it's, you can make mistakes and still get through. These raids are good examples of that actually, because my deployment on them wasn't very good. Let's have a look at the bases. They're both very similar, the next ones I'm going to show you as well, and both multi-target infernos. Yes, level 2, and it's not a max town or 10, but the concept still stays the same. So if you can see here, I can get through a lot of this base with a jump spell between the inferno towers. It will allow me to very quickly get, well, yeah, open me up to what, 80% of the base. I know there's a lot of external defenses on the ring, but again, they're primed for being hogged. But the beautiful thing about this base is, because this was a long narrow compartment, I'm actually able to wall breaker through 2 layers. So I only needed to bring a single jump spell with me, and you know what that meant? It meant I could bring an extra rage spell, and rage spells with Valkyries are crazy. Some people would argue that you need an extra heal spell for your hogs, but hey, you'll see what happens on this one. And I actually use the rage to my advantage to help with my wall breakers going in. But going back to our pre-raid thoughts, what do we think about how can we open up the base? Easy, nice jump spell in the middle there. Do I need the giants to tank? Yes, I do. I want my giants to tank that inferno tower because it's a multi, and then get my Valkyries in. I'm probably going to need a freeze spell for the second inferno tower, so I will bring one of those. Can I get anything else with the freeze spell? If I place it properly, I could probably get both of those archer towers, or the expo as well, so something to consider there. And where am I going to place my rage spells? Well, one's going to help me with my jump, with my wall breakers, so it's going to be between the dark elixir drill and the arch tower there. And the second one's probably going to be sort of back end of that town hall towards the first Inferno tower. In fact, between the Inferno towers, just to push them through, and that's probably where I'm going to use my heal spell as well. Just where they're in the heat of the moment, heat of the core, to give them extra health, extra damage, and just try and do it as quickly as possible. That's the idea for me. And then just use hogs whenever. So let's take a look at this raid and see how it goes, or how it went. Because cannons on the corners, easy funneling for minions, so it's going to create me a beautifully wide funnel. Now, did use a giant just to soak up that initial damage and give me time to get everything in order with wizard placement. And there's the rage spell. Here's the wall breakers. Watch this. First layer, and just about got the second layer. That was so risky, I must say. I should have waited for the second set of wall breakers. And here we go. Watch the giants in allowing them to go through. They're pushing up front because of the rage spell, the poisons on the clan castle, and then the Valkyries come in. Now here we go with the rage to push them through, the jump spell to allow them deeper, freeze on the inferno. Missed most of the defenses that I wanted to cover, so that was pretty poor. And the heal is there as well, and look how quickly they take down defenses. And see what I'm doing with my hogs. I'm just targeting those individual defenses and just trying to help out my troops that are still inside the core by taking them the defenses down that are killing them. So what it means is that my queen, my Valkyries survive for longer, and if my hogs fizzle out, then I've still got something to come to the far end of the raid with. So you can see I've still got my king, I've still got my queen. I'm sure I'm going to have a Valkyrie or two. I can see some by the king over here. And I've got hogs on the end of this raid, so absolutely obliterated the base. It was great. This was not a fresh hit. Someone else had done, so I knew what was in the clan castle. They hadn't GoVaHo'd it, but they'd it was like a Town Hall 9 scout, so it just allowed me to see. And they did the double layer wall breaker, which gave me the idea. But because base number 7 was basically identical, some subtle changes, I replicated the raid on that and did a very similar attack. So high number of Valkyries, a good amount of hogs, and watch what I do on this one. Because funneling was a little bit more difficult, because there was an archer tower, I used the giant to distract to allow me to funnel, so that's a definite thing you can do. And the thing about this one, I'm trying to get to the first Inferno tower as quickly as possible. And I recommend that. Try and choose an entry point where you can get to that one Inferno very quickly and then find a path to get to the second one. My mistake on this was my deployment speed. I used the giants to soak up the Inferno tower so I could get in, but I hadn't dropped my queen, king, Valks down quick enough, so my giants and golem are going up and dying already. And then I hadn't placed the poisons down, so then I had to spam those, so my deployment was so off. But rage, heal, freeze, get those 3 down, and watch the raid just go crazy again. Hogs just taking those defenses that are on the outside, and I'm just getting huge value. The queen has gone off slightly, but she's going to start taking down more defenses for me. Still got a load of Valkyries and my king in one group, and it's just so cool when it all comes together. It is all about timing. I was pretty tired last night, and my wife was asleep on me when I did this raid, which might explain why it was a little bit poor. When I say a little bit poor, I mean very poor. But I was able to still muscle through and get the 3-star. So I think with even better execution, it would have been much cleaner than this. In terms of troops left and how the raid went, but it emphasizes my point. Find a way to open up the base and you should be set. I brought 2 rage spells there, but the first rage spell, to be honest, was just to let me into the base. So I could have easily placed a jump spell there and saved a couple of wall breakers, but it was just a little bit creative, so I liked it. So think about it. It's an amazing strategy if you can sort of plan it out. And what I would say is get your max hogs, get your max Valks. Max Valks first. Getting max Valks is very essential to a new Town Hall 10 at this point, unless it gets nerfed, because it is so powerful. So yeah, I do call it a GoVaHo, but I'm erring towards like GoVaHo for the giants, because I almost prefer them for the strategy. And to be honest, when you're queen walking, which is the other way to do it. Now I'll show you an example. This base that I'll show you finally hasn't got infernos, and in fact we'll do a live raid in a minute. It hasn't got infernos, but it shows my point. And in fact, it was the raid on real men, and it was Effiol is the one I want to show. So with the Queen Walk, you can create a funnel as part of her job. So what he does is, or what I'd recommend doing, find a way you can guide your queen. And with the queen, you typically want to take down the clan castle, you want to take down a hero usually, so if you can get the enemy queen, if you can get the enemy king, and the clan castle and some defences, you can, and basically funnel the base, so you're creating a route for your Valkyries. That's the idea. That's why Queen Walk's so powerful, and it all comes down to air defence placement. And if the air defences are out of range of the queen's range, then you're going to struggle to, unless you break in a layer. So here he's broke in the first layer, so he can make sure that his queen can get that air defense, and the healers don't end up. The queen doesn't pass it, and the healers end up dying. The queen does end up dying by the single target inferno, which is unfortunate. But his objective is met. He gets the funnel. He gets the some defenses down. He has taken, or he will take. He has taken the clan castle down as well. And it's just a better. And he's taken the queen down. So huge value from his queen on this this walk so far. That's why people do it. And at that point, you don't need a golem. If you've already created most of the funnel, at this point just get those Valks, because there's nothing in the clan castle. So just get your Valks in. And start opening the base. And you can see here with that earthquake now, he's created himself a beautiful route in. All he needs to do is get those giants and Valkyries going in, and the other good thing is they are so powerful, they will just blast through. Unfortunately, he didn't break in the layer of wall he wanted, and the Valks ended up running around the outside, which pretty much cost him the raid, I reckon, if they'd have all gone inside a bit. But the healers, I'll put you to a link to my other raid, which was really cool, where the healers ended up healing the Valkyries after a Queen Walk. That was awesome. So yeah, I've already uploaded that one, but I'll put you a link to it in the description, so feel free to check it out. But the concept is still the same. You don't necessarily need a golem especially if you're doing a Queen Walk. This one didn't result out to be the 3-star, but it's still a great example of not using a golem. In fact, using the giants and the queen and the healers to add different value. It just didn't quite work out for him in the end, but it was a pretty high Town Hall 10. So yeah, I just wanted to use that as a point to make to you guys. Anyway, I hope you've been enjoying this video so far. Let's see if we can whip out a quick live attack and see how we do there. Let's see if I can find a base. Looking at this base now, could be a good example of one to just try on the fly. It's not a massively upgraded base. I'm just trying to figure out a quick route in and quick funnel if I can. Just looking at the defense positions. Okay, let's try this one. Let's see if we can do it. I think I want to take going from the top side, actually, looking at it. Okay, what we need to do is be quite quick. I'm going to get my golem down to start creating the funnel. Get wizards down to make sure my Valks don't wander too far, at least anyway. Queen down, and now I'm going to start using my wall breakers to break in the first layer. I'm going to get the jump spell down nice and early. I'm going to get my giants down nice and early as well. Nothing in this, I don't know if anything's in the CC yet, doesn't look like there is, so I can now worry about getting those Valkyries in now that the funnel's created for me. King down as well. Rage spell through the core. And we're going to be using a freeze for that second Inferno tower soon. Freeze spell down, heal spell down, try and get everyone back alive. Hog Riders, see if we can go. Couple over here, look. Couple over here, start targeting these defences. I don't know how we're going, but my heroes have gone completely AWOL. I don't know what they are doing. They're not helping me out, that's for sure. A couple of wizards, one I'm going to place over this side to start clearing up. Hopefully one I'm going to place over this side to start clearing up as well. Loads of Hog Riders left, we're looking pretty good on that. I'm going to wait on the hero ability. Loads of Valkyries left as well. So again, a great example of how the raid can just go completely weird. with both heroes going in and outside the base or running around the edge. And with my Valkyries end up running around outside the edge. There's only a couple of defences left, so I'm going to get the triple. But think this is it's just a little bit crazy sometimes. Anyway, I'm popping the ability there for the Queen. I'll drop the King's one in a bit. One Archer Tower left to go. When the Valkyries come over, that's when I don't think the Queen will get the Archer Tower. Let's have a look, see if she does. Oh, God bless you, Queen, you did. Anyway, there's the 3-star. Boom. So I suggest you try it in global, because you can take a sort of a stock army. You can go and practice in, I say in global, in matchmaking. Oh, got myself a little bonus there as well. Anyway, guys, I hope you've liked this GoVaHo video. Test it out, mess with the army. It's not a set in stone army yet. You can add more Valkyries and less hogs in. You can golems, no golems, giants, healers, queen walks, you know. The world is your oyster, so play around, have fun, enjoy it, get some 3-stars, and tweet me when you do @ClashingMatty. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I'll catch you on the flip side. Peace!